The HR office smelled like cheap air freshener and broken dreams. Maria Chen sat across from me, her lips pressed into a thin line. She slid a single sheet of paper across the desk. "We're letting you go, Alex, effective immediately." My heart dropped into my stomach. I'd worked at Apex Solutions for 7 years. 7 years of 60-hour weeks, skipped lunches, and cancelled weekend plans. I built their entire client database system from scratch. Can I ask why? My voice came out steadier than I felt. Maria didn't even look up. Attitude issues, multiple complaints from management. I blinked hard. Attitude issues. I'd never received a single warning. No performance review mentioned problems. This didn't make sense. Then I saw him through the glass wall, Dylan Park, the new VP who'd arrived 6 months ago. He was smirking, talking to his assistant. Everything clicked into place. Last week I'd refused to sign off on his sketchy accounting proposal. He'd called it creative bookkeeping. I'd called it fraud. 2 weeks earlier, Dylan had cornered me after a staff meeting. His cologne was overwhelming as he leaned against my cubicle. "Alex, I need you to adjust some client billing codes, just a small tweak." He handed me a printout with highlighted sections. I scanned the numbers and my stomach turned. He wanted me to shift charges between projects, making some clients appear more profitable than they were. "This isn't accurate reporting," I said carefully. "The board won't know the difference," Dylan replied with a casual shrug. "It makes the quarterly numbers look better. Everyone wins." I set the paper down. "I can't do this, it's misleading investors." His friendly expression vanished instantly. His eyes turned cold and calculating. "You sure you want to be difficult about this?" The threat hung in the air between us. I should have documented that conversation immediately. Instead, I'd just refused and walked away. Now, sitting in HR, I realized that decision had cost me everything. I packed my desk in silence while former colleagues avoided eye contact. 7 years reduced to a cardboard box, a coffee mug, a succulent plant, some USB drives. Sarah from accounting whispered, "I'm so sorry," as she hurried past. Nobody else said goodbye. The security guard, Tom, at least looked sympathetic as he escorted me out. "Take care of yourself, Alex." Outside, the afternoon sun felt too bright. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, staring at the Apex building. My phone buzzed with a text from my best friend Jamie. "Drinks tonight." I couldn't respond yet. I needed to process this. Then I remembered something. Last month, I'd backed up the entire client database to my personal encrypted cloud storage. It was standard practice for me, protecting my work in case of system failures. But that backup included every communication, every project file, every piece of documentation about the systems I'd built. Dylan thought he'd silenced me. He had no idea what I'd taken with me. That night, Jamie and I sat in our favorite downtown bar. The neon lights reflected off my untouched beer. "They fired you for having standards." Jamie's voice rose with indignation. "That's insane." I told her everything: Dylan's proposal, my refusal, the sudden termination. She listened, her expression darkening. "You need a lawyer," she said firmly. I shook my head. "I can't afford a legal battle right now. I need to find another job." But Jamie wasn't listening. She pulled out her phone and started typing furiously. "My cousin Marcus is an employment attorney. He owes me a favor." Within 10 minutes, she'd set up a consultation for the next day. I felt a flicker of hope mixed with anxiety. Maybe I wasn't as powerless as I felt. As we left the bar, Jamie squeezed my shoulder. "They messed with the wrong person, Alex, trust me." I wanted to believe her, I really did. Marcus Rivera's office was surprisingly modest for a successful attorney. He listened to my story without interrupting, taking occasional notes. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. "Do you have any documentation of Dylan's request?" I nodded and pulled out my laptop. I'd found the email Dylan sent after our conversation, carefully worded but suspicious. Regarding our discussion about optimizing project allocations, it read. I also had my response declining to make the changes. Marcus read both emails twice, his expression unreadable. "This is good, but it's circumstantial. Did anyone else witness these conversations?" I thought hard. Sarah from accounting was nearby during one discussion, but she'll never testify against management. Marcus tapped his pen against his desk. "Here's the thing, Alex, wrongful termination cases are tough, but if we can prove retaliation for refusing a legal activity, that's different." He paused, studying my face. "Are you prepared for this to get messy?" I spent the next week updating my resume and applying to every relevant job posting. Nothing felt right. Every company seemed like a potential repeat of Apex, same corporate politics, same ethical compromises. My savings account was healthy enough for a few months, but anxiety kept me awake at night. Then my phone rang with an unknown number. "Alex Morgan," a woman's voice asked. "This is Rebecca Liu from Quantum Systems. Your name came up in our search for a senior database architect." My heart skipped. Quantum Systems was Apex's biggest competitor. They were known for ethical business practices and innovative solutions. I'm interested, I said, trying not to sound desperate. Can you come in tomorrow for an initial interview? Rebecca asked. We've heard impressive things about your work. After we hung up, I researched who might have recommended me. Then I saw it. Sarah from Apex had left the company 2 days ago. She'd updated her LinkedIn with a new position at Quantum Systems. The Quantum Systems office was everything Apex wasn't, bright, modern, and filled with genuine energy. Rebecca Liu greeted me warmly and we sat in a glass-walled conference room. Sarah spoke highly of your skills, Rebecca began. She said you built Apex's entire client management infrastructure. I nodded, careful with my words. I spent 6 years developing and refining that system. We discussed technical details for an hour. Rebecca asked thoughtful questions that showed real understanding. Unlike Dylan, who'd only cared about manipulating numbers, Rebecca wanted to know about data integrity and security protocols. We're building something special here, she said finally. We need people who prioritize doing things right over doing things fast. She extended her hand. We'd like to offer you a position as senior database architect. The salary is 30% higher than industry standard. I nearly fell out of my chair. This was more than I'd made at Apex, even after 7 years. My first day at Quantum felt surreal. Sarah met me at reception, grinning widely. Welcome to the good guys, she whispered. She'd left Apex the day after my firing. I couldn't stay after what they did to you, she explained over coffee. Plus, I knew about Dylan's creative accounting, it was only going to get worse. She told me others were planning to leave too. Apex was hemorrhaging talent quietly. Meanwhile, Dylan was bringing in inexperienced people who wouldn't question his methods. He's building an empire of yes men, Sarah said. But empires fall. At Quantum, I met my new team, 6 talented engineers who actually seemed excited to work together. My manager, James Chen, emphasized collaboration over competition. We win together or not at all, he said during our team meeting. For the first time in years, I felt like I was exactly where I belonged. 3 weeks into my new job, Marcus called with news. I've been digging into Apex's financials, something's not adding up. He'd filed a formal complaint with the Labour Board about my termination, which triggered a basic inquiry. During their response, I noticed discrepancies in their quarterly reports. The numbers Dylan wanted you to manipulate, they're showing up in their official filings now. My blood ran cold. Someone else did what I refused to do. Marcus hummed in agreement. Worse, those false reports went to investors and the SEC. If this is what I think it is, Apex is in serious trouble. He paused. Alex, I need to ask, do you have any backup of the original, accurate data? I thought about my encrypted cloud storage. I might have something. That night, I carefully reviewed my backup files. Everything was there, the real project costs, actual profit margins, authentic client billings. The difference between my data and Apex's public reports was staggering. Marcus spent 2 days reviewing the files I'd provided. When he called back, his voice was tight with controlled excitement. Alex, this is bigger than wrongful termination. This is securities fraud. He explained that Dylan's manipulations had inflated Apex's value by nearly 40%. Investors had made decisions based on false information. The SEC will want to see this, Marcus said, but I need your permission to turn it over. I hesitated. This would destroy Apex completely. Innocent employees would suffer. What about the people who still work there? I asked. Marcus sighed. They're already in danger. When this fraud collapses, and it will, the fallout will be worse. Better to expose it now and limit the damage. He was right. I knew he was right. Okay, I said quietly. Do it. 2 days later, federal investigators showed up at Apex's headquarters. The news hit the industry blogs within hours. Apex Solutions under federal investigation for financial irregularities, the headlines screamed. The investigation moved faster than anyone expected. Federal agents seized records, interviewed employees, and froze certain accounts. Dylan tried to play innocent, but the evidence was overwhelming. My backup files showed the original, accurate data. Apex's official reports showed Dylan's manipulated version. The math was simple and damning. Meanwhile, Apex's stock price plummeted. Investors filed lawsuits. Clients started terminating contracts. The company that had fired me 3 months ago was imploding in real time. I felt a strange mix of vindication and sadness. Sarah texted me updates from former colleagues who'd stayed behind. Complete chaos, one message read. Dylan's been suspended. Mario in HR is freaking out. Another message made me pause. They're asking about you, want to know if you'd consider coming back. I laughed out loud. After everything they'd done, they thought I'd return, not a chance. But then Marcus called with an interesting proposal. They want to settle, Marcus said. Apex's lawyers reached out. They're offering a substantial severance package and a public apology in exchange for you not pursuing further legal action. I listened as he outlined the terms. The severance was significant, nearly 2 years' salary. The apology would acknowledge they'd terminated me wrongfully. What about Dylan? I asked. Marcus chuckled darkly. Dylan's facing federal charges. He's not part of this negotiation. I considered the offer. The money would be helpful, sure, but the public apology mattered more. It would clear my name completely. There's one more thing, Marcus added. They want to know if you'd consult with them to fix the database systems. They're claiming nobody else understands the infrastructure you built. Now that was interesting. They'd fired me for having standards, and now they needed those same standards to survive. What do you think? I asked Marcus. I think you hold all the cards, he replied. What do you want? I called Rebecca at Quantum before responding to Apex. I need your advice on something. I explained the settlement offer and the consulting request. Rebecca listened carefully. What does your gut tell you? She asked. My gut says they don't deserve my help, I admitted, but another part of me wants to prove they made a massive mistake. Rebecca laughed. You've already proven that by thriving here, but if you want to consult for them, we'll support you. Just remember, you don't owe them anything.